Inheriting a house built in the 1890s feels less like a real estate win and more like a long-term commitment to property-induced anxiety. My grandmother's estate was a labyrinth of velvet curtains, taxidermy with missing eyes, and floorboards that groaned under the weight of a century's worth of dust. But it wasn't the decor that kept me awake. It was the rhythm. Every night, starting around 2 a.m., the sound drifted through the vents. Click, clack, ding, a rhythmic, mechanical cadence. I told myself it was the pipes, or the house settling, or perhaps a particularly industrious mouse. But you can't ignore the sound of a carriage return forever. On the 7th night, I finally grabbed a flashlight and followed the sound to the library. The room was freezing, the kind of cold that feels like a physical weight on your chest. My grandmother's 1920s Underwood typewriter sat on the mahogany desk. In the dim beam of my light, I saw the keys dancing. They weren't being pressed by fingers. They were dipping into the ribbon as if pulled by invisible strings. Zip, ding. The carriage slid back to the start. I realized with a jolt of horror that there was a stack of paper on the floor. I don't know how I had missed it all week. Dozens of sheets were scattered like fallen leaves, all filled with cramped, ink-heavy text. I picked one up. I expected a message from Grandma, something about the garden or where she'd hidden the silver. Instead, the page was covered in a single sentence, typed over and over until the paper was nearly shredded. The skin doesn't fit. A movement in the corner of the room caught my eye. My grandmother had been a tiny, delicate woman, but the shadow detached from the bookshelf was neither. It was tall, impossibly thin, and its limbs bent at angles that defied human anatomy. It didn't have a face, just a smooth, pale surface where features should be. The clicking stopped. The room went silent, save for the sound of my own frantic breathing. Then, the keys began to move again, very slowly this time. Click, click, click. I looked down at the typewriter. I didn't want to see what it was writing, but I couldn't look away. One letter at a time, the entity on the desk was finishing a new page. Turn around. The cold breath hit the back of my neck before I could even scream. I realized then that the spooky old stuff in the house hadn't belonged to my grandmother. She was just the one keeping the door locked, and now I'd let it open.